Hello, fight fans. The date is November 23, 2013. That night, the heart of the boxing world wasn't beating in Las Vegas, but in Macau, China, at the Cotai Arena. The main event was for the legendary Manny Pacquiao, but on the undercard, there was a heavyweight who would later sit on top of the world, though nobody took him seriously back then, Andy Ruiz Jr. His opponent was Tor Hamer, an American, muscular, educated, and the winner of the famous prizefighter tournament in the UK. This fight wasn't just a battle of two punches, but proof of how deceiving appearances can be in the boxing world. At that time, Andy Ruiz was seen as the chubby kid eating Snickers. Tor Hamer, with his athletic physique, was the favorite. However, what happened in the ring that night would show everyone that a boxer's heart is more important than his muscles.
Ruiz just sort of looked disdainfully at him.
Andy fought last time we were here. Great performance against Joe Hanks, Colonel.
Yeah,
looked really good in that fight.
Yeah, and don't forget that Hamer also has a 4-inch reach advantage, so we'll see how the shorter and more bulky but heavier puncher Ruiz stands up against him. He's from Mexicali in Mexico.
Good right hand again from Hamer. You wonder if someone is going to attack that flab.
Right! Well, wouldn't that seem to be the way to go after it? But again, don't be fooled by this guy's body. That flap doesn't mean he hasn't trained hard. That's his body style, and he continues to train down. Larry, you mentioned he was high as almost 300 pounds at one time. And each fight he's a little bit less and a little bit less. Hamer having a decent first round here, though.
Hamer has a kind of disdainful attitude also about Ruiz. He thinks that the fact that he's got ability, but he hasn't been able to match his seriousness by getting in better shape, gives him a shot.
Break! Stop! Step back.
That hasn't made a difference with any opponent up till this time, as Andy's undefeated. But I can understand where people get that misconception by looking at his physique.
There's no way that Hamer can punch like Ruiz can, and in the heavyweight division, you better have one thing, you better have a punch. So sooner or later, you're going to get tagged, and down you go.
As George Foreman once taught me, you have to be able to take a punch in this division because you're going to get hit by a big guy, and if you can't do that, you're not going to last very long.
And George should know with his classic battle with Ron Lyle, both of them were up and down about half a dozen times.
And many others.
Yeah. There's nobody better for coming off canvases when he was knocked down hard than Larry Holmes in his career. Larry did it 3 times against Ronaldo Snipes, Mike Weaver, and of course Ernie Shave.
Left hand right to the midsection.
Go back, no punching, no punching.
You know, when you travel around the world...
Let's look at the conditions under which these two warriors stepped into the ring. Andy Ruiz Jr. was just 24 years old and undefeated at 20-0. When he stepped on the scales, the needle showed exactly 245 pounds, or 115.5 kilograms. He was working with Top Rank at the time, and Bob Arum was fascinated by this chubby kid's hand speed. For this fight, Ruiz's purse was around $30,000. Yes, compared to the millions he earned in the Anthony Joshua fight, this seems like pocket change. But back then, Ruiz was out to prove himself. In the other corner was Tor Hamer. He was 30 years old. He weighed in at 220 pounds, or 100 kilograms. That means he was 35 pounds than his opponent and looked much fitter. Hamer's career was interesting. He was a Penn State graduate, a college-educated boxer. However, he had been criticized before for quitting in his fight against Vyacheslav Glaskov. This match was his opportunity to say, "I am a warrior." Hamer's earnings for this fight were estimated between $15,000 and $20,000.
We'll see. Ruiz, the big heavy-set guy, taking some shots here against. Yeah, you got to remember though, you know, Hamer has a pretty good record too. He's 21-2 with 14 knockouts. So in his 21 fights, he's got as many knockouts as Andy Ruiz, who's had one less fight but at 14 knockouts.
And his career was sort of revived on this level when he fought in the professional series they have in Great Britain, where you fight 3 times in one night. And he came out winning the 3 fights, 3 3-round fights. You punch Ruiz hard enough in the stomach, you might lose your glove and your fist in there.
Round number 2, tough, hard work for these 2 big heavyweights. In the early going, it's a question of who wants to out hustle who the most. Forcing the fight, I gotta say, is Hamer. Ruiz plods forward, reaches downstairs. Can't be anything on that when you reach.
Well, this is, you know, we've had 2 interesting fights because of the prospects. Now we have a fight.
Nice shot there. Right back comes Hamer.
As the opening bell rang, the fight began. In the first minutes, Tor Hamer tried to stay mobile and press Ruiz. Hamer's plan was simple: tire Ruiz out and take advantage of his sluggish appearance. In the first round, Hamer actually landed a few good jabs. However, as we moved into the second round, Andy Ruiz's famous Mexican-style pressure kicked in. Despite his weight, his hands were as fast as a middleweight's. Pay attention to the combinations you see on the screen right now. Ruiz gets on the inside and unleashes 3 or 4 punch combinations to the body and head. Hamer couldn't respond to this speed. You can see the shock on Hamer's face. He expected a slow man, but found punches coming at him like bullets.
Hamer from New York City to give him the round. So let's see what happens here.
Stop! No punches! No punches! No punches! I'll get in there. Right?
Still having to do a lot of work in there, huh?
Both fighters have landed some solid punches and have been unable to buzz each other yet. Like that.
That's the best combination of punch and wow by Ruiz. He hit him with 3 solid shots and then another right hand. He's setting her up to the body and then coming back upstairs. Ruiz beginning to take over here. Why with those last 2 shots? Tons of time in this round for Ruiz to do some more work.
Yeah, he jiggles forward.
Nice straight right hand, step the head back that time.
Nice comeback. Good already to the body. Time and roll.
2 big heavyweights, each trying to land the big shot to change the course of this fight. Like no other division, 1 punch can change it in a hurry.
Oh, better round here for Andy.
Yeah.
Definitely more punches.
Definitely, Christina.
Yeah. Cutting off the ring nicely as Hamer tries to circle around the ropes.
Using that jab very well to set up his...
Ruiz just showing much more power now, much more ring generalship. He's busier. He's caught this guy with a couple of body shots too that just may have taken the wind out of his sail, because he's not the same fighter he was the first couple of rounds. There's a body shot, borderline low, but that takes a lot out of a guy. Now he has to hang on. This is a very, very good round for Ruiz. This is a major softening up round for Ruiz of Hamer.
Hamer looks like
The third round was the beginning for Tor Hamer. Andy Ruiz trapped his opponent and activated his destroyer mode. Right hooks, left uppercuts. Ruiz turned Hamer into a punching bag. At these moments, famous commentators were saying on the main line, "This kid's hands are incredible. There are very little heavyweights this fast." Hamer was taking the shots but couldn't round end it. Hamer returned to his corner with difficulty. Physically, he wasn't knocked out. He was standing, but mentally, he was broke. And here is one of the most criticized moments in boxing, for round 4 was about to ring, but Tor Hamer did not get up. He told the referee that he would not continue. This wasn't a knockout. This wasn't his corner either. In boxing literature, this is known as quitting. Tor Hamer, just like he did in the Glasgow fight, abandoned the battle when it got too tough. After the fight, and boxing writers tore Hamer apart. The famous boxing magazine commented, "Talented, but no heart. The boxing is no place for quitters." On Twitter, Andy Ruiz broke his opponent not just with his punches, but with his will. Even the renowned boxing writer Dan Raphael wrote his career was effectively with this move, because nobody wants to quit in the middle of a fight. Andy Ruiz Jr. won that night by technical knockout, RTD, in the third round. This didn't just earn him respect. That chubby kid who made Hamer quit in Macau would knock out Anthony Joshua from years later and sit on top of the world. This fight taught us a lesson. Power is not in his biceps, but in his heart. While Tor Hamer quit with his fit body, Andy Ruiz continued to make his weight. If you enjoyed this destroyer story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the next analysis.
Destroyer Ruiz Jr.